Hello, Internet. I'm Angela, I am your DM for this evening, and this is Shenanigoons, the Book of Faebles. Hello, players.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you all doing this evening?
So good.
Looking forward to a little bit of power fantasy fulfillment and leveling up a little bit.
Yeah, I want to hang out with our scary mommies.
They are scary mommies.
Well, I'm known for
scary mommies.
I'm known for my NPC daddies. It was bound to happen. I hope everyone is doing very well this evening. As usual, we are here with Shenanigoons, the Book of Faebles, that kind of sort of fairy tale D&D campaign where you contribute to the chaos. And we are here with some fun little tidbits for you today. We are sadly down a Paru. We love you very much, Tessa. And I hope you don't get mad that I do something fun tonight in your absence, but you'll forgive me. It's fine. We are on chapter 39. My goodness, next week will be 40. Wow. When does the campaign midlife crisis happen? Mid-campaign crisis?
Just now.
I think we're right in the mid-campaign crisis right now. I think that's happening right now.
Were we supposed to wait to have our crisis till now? Because
We've been having an eternal. We've been
know.
having a crisis for a while. It's fine.
That train has slowly been picking up speed.
Yes, we are nearing the precipice, hence the title of tonight's chapter, Do You Hear the Babas Sing? As we prepare for a coup. But we will get to that in a very short moment. For now, let's talk a little bit about who we are and why we're here and who has helped us get here. I really tried to make it rhyme. I really did. It just didn't work. So, we are members of the Nerdsmith Network. You can find out more about us at nerdsmith.org or support us at patreon.com/nerdsmith. We have exclusive actually, my alert box is, there we go. Thank you for the follow. I had it underneath the map of our world. I didn't mean to, sorry. We are coming out with a bunch of cool Patreon exclusive stuff, like exclusive World Anvil content, some fiction by our very own Kyle, from the perspective of Mr. Harland Firebranch, and I will be putting together some cool. You'll be able to get access to our some of our battle maps from our sessions on our World Anvil. So I'll be sharing some of those. So you can goof off with them in your very own, and then do some of our sessions like Mr. Mammon's Pumpkin Patch, things like that.
The Pumpkin King.
Yes, monsters may or may not be included, but the maps are will be available. I made those in Incarnate, and I do have the rights to share those. So please consider that supporting us on Patreon if you would like to continue supporting us. Though, I will say, our viewers have been absolutely amazing, both subscribing to our channel, but also contributing to the chaos every week, which is always very much appreciated. ? Probably. Thank you. Thank you for contributing. We did this to ourselves. We can only thank you. We are brought here today, and we keep the lights on thanks to a few really incredible companies that have been so generous to support us and sponsor us. We are sponsored by Eldritch Foundry, which you can see their wares on our character portraits. Our beautiful fantasy character portraits are designed in Eldritch Foundry. We added a little color to give them life, but they are beautifully sculpted, and you should take a look if you want to get 3D printed miniatures or digital miniatures for your own maps and streaming layouts. So you can find them at the link below. If you use that link, you're also supporting us at the network, so please consider using our referral link to check it out if you decide you'd like to purchase any really kick-ass minis. We are also sponsored by World Anvil, as I have mentioned before. World Anvil is an absolutely incredible campaign management and world building website. You can join their incredible community of creative folks at worldanvil.com. The link in our chat will actually take you to our World Anvil, so you can find us. The World of Vale is our homebrew channel, or our homebrew world, our setting, so you can find a bunch of maps for the for the world of Vale and for this island, Cronus, that the campaign takes place on, also known as Thuria. And this is very dramatic. Chill. Can you chill? Thank you, music. Anyway, this is my generic thing where it's like, this is the credit sequence. Who cares what the title or what the tone is? So the Our World Anvil is available there. You can find out more about our campaigns. And right now there are pages for our 2 previous campaigns, The Fires of Valdara and Spelljammer, which was our sort of sci-fantasy campaign that we ran last time. We will have one for this one, and I am determined to have it out before the campaign ends so that you can basically, everything that you can type in with our little chat codes next to the characters, those will be on Our World Anvil so that you can just read about the characters. So those will be there, including our pictures, so you can see our the full-length pictures that we made for our Save Point episode, so you can see the whole their whole outfit and stuff. It's very cool. Because, gosh, it's such a crime that you don't see Oliet's tutu. Like, it's just really a crime that we can't incorporate that into the layout somehow. So, that is World Anvil. Be sure to check them out and light up the forge. And finally, we are sponsored by Die Hard Dice, purveyors of beautiful polymer and metal dice. And again, can you chill? Let me put on something nicer. Let's do a little bit of tavern music. That'll be fun. Very dramatic for our Die Hard Dice review. So please check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. But this month we are featuring Die Hard Dice's Dragon's Blood dice set. It's a really pretty polymer set that has silver and a little bit of transparent red, and it is very cool all swirled together. If you are in the mood for something a bit more sanguine, you should check them out. If you use the code Nerdsmith when you check out, you get 10% off your entire purchase, including those kick-ass dice. So please take them. Yes, very metal button polymer. Thank you. So yeah, please check them out at dieharddice.com. And finally, my dears, if you will turn your attention to a unprepared layout where I have the rules, let me take a picture and put it back. There we go. Nope, that's the ad rotation. Everything's fine here at Shenanigoons. We're very professional. Don't worry about it.
No.
It's great. So, where are we in the... Oh, I'll put the wheel. Damn it, hold on. Hello, everyone. Can you tell that we also contribute to the chaos? Because we do. Anyway.
Yep.
It's fine. Here, we're back, and the thing's there where it was supposed to be. Hello, and here is the way you can contribute to the chaos. If you tip the show with our Streamlabs link, you can help add a little bit of nonsense into the game, more so than we already do ourselves. At the $5 level, if you tip us for $5, you can add a reroll to the party pool. That is for any D20 they can reroll, and they stack, and they can just use them at their heart's delight, or at their heart's existential crisis. At $15, you can tip us to spin the Wheel of Causality, which is a random magic table we have accumulated and consented to, and our players will have to deal with some in-character or meta nonsense that can happen. If you tip the show for $25, you can help me create an NPC. That has been one of our most popular it's very popular, and it has some of the most lasting impact because several of those NPCs have gone on to be tremendously important to the campaign. So please consider helping me. Give me a little bit of info about them. You can find out more in the chat. And at $50, you can activate DM Ex Machina, which give 1 minute of DM powers to a player of your choice, and they can do with what they please. That could be clutch, given what's coming up. But we'll have to see if anybody pulls the trigger on that one, because we'll see. Anyway, that is how you can contribute to the chaos. But for now, we have our own little bit of chaos to get started on. Before we talk about what happened, though, I do have a very special thing that I've been working on today. So let's get going with Shenanigoons. We'll be right back. Hello. Hi, everybody. Absolutely did that today.
What?
No, I've been working on that for a bit. So it'll be better later because I didn't get all the sound effects I wanted, but I'm very excited about it. Hey, surprise! So, Lead's like, what's happening? What's this production value? So, previously on Shenanigoons, really swinging and missing here with that music. It's fine. It's fine. It's real fine. You know what? I'm gonna leave this one on. I'm gonna leave this one on.
Yeah, roll with it.
So previously on Shenanigoons, the Book of Fables, chapter 38, you all found yourselves in the literal Feywild. You spoke to, well, what at first you were like, the Baba Yaga. And you found out that there are, maybe not several Baba Yagas, but there are several Babas. Baba being a title. If you think about it, a matriarch, a mother or grandmother figure. It kind of works for queen. There are 6 of them, each of them representing or some aspect of the queens you knew in the book. Each of them with their own little aesthetic and creepiness. Kick-ass, thank you, 12-sided. So, we explored a little bit of their dynamic. They are very different than their counterparts in the book, and you negotiated with them. Paru took, Baba Yaga took an immediate liking to her descendant or her bloodline from Paru. Basically went literal grandmother with her. Pinching cheeks and asking her what she brought, and then like, what are you doing at school? Kind of questions. While the rest of them were wary of you. You told them that they were, they technically knew you, or you knew them, sort of. And you went about explaining to them the dangers of the Lord of Tales, them specifically someone they did reveal that they knew who that was. It was a adversary of theirs here in the material world. You spoke with each of the Babas, and they all came to eventually trust that you were who you said you were, champions of some sort of fictional aspect. What did I do? Oh, they're Boba. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. So, you spoke to them. Her Majesty of the Word, or Baba Soli, was probably the first to kind of jump on board as she demanded an explanation and was promptly given one, slightly from Oliette, but more importantly from Her Majesty of the Word. She read from the book, and it seemed that Her Majesty of the Word basically Matrix downloaded all of the information of what had happened in the book to her. Maybe a vestige of their connection as being aspects of each other in some way. So you do find yourself with the Babas all kind of remembering you. Kind of. They recognize that you're important to them individually. And I think, besides the nonsense and creepifyingness of the Babas, the other big event that happened was, well, Her Majesty of the Trade has a counterpart in the Feywild. I believe it was Baba Gevi, yes, thank you. Baba Gevi, who found it supremely amusing that she was apparently a traitor in the Fae book, as according to the other Babas, she was the first to turn on the Lord of Tales. She was the most virulently opposed to him, and the most antagonistic towards him. And to have him turn around and create some sort of fictional version of her that was, you know, so in love with him that she'd betray the other queens. Just twisted power fantasy on his part. So, Baba Gevi has not read from the book, just from a... They're playing it safe, let's say. And as Baba Gevi, being a... both aesthetically... or being aesthetically like Her Majesty of the Trade, Verlaine started experiencing one of his curse attacks again, and began, well, not drowning in the salt water because of quick thinking and planning from Harland. He can breathe underwater when needed. So he wasn't suffering, really. It was just uncomfortable. And... bless you. And Baba Zasha, the Queen of Beauty in the Feywild, here a presumably disfigured and injured figure with a mask, fully covered, a mask covering even the top of her face, and you only see her eyes. You watch as Baba Zasha frees Verlaine from their curse, that brand on the back of his tongue. And there's a bit of an unspoken, literally unspoken connection that forms between the two of them. One can only assume that being a victim of the same person, abuse of from the same person, bonded them a bit. Or at least they came to an understanding very quickly of each other. So, with some semblance of an agreement made that you are seeking the Grand Archive, which they explained was a realm where all knowledge is kept, all mortal knowledge is kept in the archive, and some immortal knowledge. They agree to help, to offer what training they can, and you plan to join your teachers in the Fae book to oust the traitor queen. But first, you have to train. You're not comfortable yet dealing with this, and you figure you might be able to learn a few tricks from the Babas. So you each, well, I think most of you, partner up with the Baba that represents the one that you train with in the book. It's the most likely to, seeing as they have somewhat mind melded with their book counterparts, you might find something to learn from them. So here's what we're going to do. For the beginning of the session, we're going to do what we normally do with the level up sessions. We're going to talk a bit about, pick a highlight of something that you learn from your new levels. You can pick one or two things. If you can thematically group them, that'd be great. But just a couple of things that you learn, and we will resolve any questions or how you learn those things. We'll resolve those as we go. So, would someone like to volunteer, or would someone like to roll initiative to see who goes first? Preference?
I can go first. I have an idea already for Beza.
Sometimes nobody wants to volunteer, so I'm offering an option of we just roll for it. Okay, so Beza, you find yourself under the training of Baba Tifu.
Yeah, she wasn't happy.
She was disgruntled. That is putting it mildly. Still a giantess. Still fierce and distrustful of everything having to do with the Lord of Tales. Though, your relationship with Her Majesty of the Hunt, your parental relationship with her,
Yep.
familial, I guess would be the better term because that goes both ways, has... Well, it takes a bit for the cracks to start to show. Baba Tifu is deep and imposing, and like with every step you hear bones cracking, but it sounds more like rock slide. She's an enormous presence. So, what is it that you learn from Baba Tifu?
So, training with Baba Tifu, Beza learns more about how to turn an enemy's attack back on them, or to deflect something from one of her friends. She finds out that during the fight with the Babas and Lord of Tales originally, hi readers, Baba Tifu did a lot of, not quite warding, but sort of protecting of the other Babas, who, so that they didn't take as many hits, but also toughening up herself. So it's a lot of like constantly having attacks thrown at her and having to learn how to deflect them to a different target.
Oh yeah, she is definitely a hands-on sort of trainer. And you, in the way that Her Majesty of the Hunt would use archery as her primary means, like Baba Tifu just throws rocks at you. Like,
That's kind of what I was picturing.
yeah, she just like, you just watch these massive, giant hands crash into the mud and pull up sharp and like nasty, brutal looking rocks, and she just chucks them at you while you learn.
Yeah, and Beza learns more about how to take a hit and gets a little tougher.
Good.
And then also
important.
about how to...
Exactly. Thank you, Kyle. If you can
deflect
dodge a
it.
rock, you can dodge a ball. Oh, beautiful.
Yep, basically. Yeah, so I don't know if we want to go into the metas of what we learned or just...
If you want, you can very briefly talk about the meta. If you want to just say, like, I got points in this and I got an ability to do this. That's about as much as I would want.
Yeah, mine's quick and easy. Meta, I took the tough feat.
Woo!
So that I can take more hits. And,
Oh boy.
and I learned with my... what is my... oh my god, archetype. My fighter archetype. I gained abilities that let me deflect damage off of myself or my friends and onto the bad guys.
Very nice. Kick ass.
Yeah,
So,
that might come in handy.
I think so. So, who wants to go next?
I'm trying to think of something. I mean, I could just talk about it. I don't really have any like clever witticisms or
you're fine.
like, you know, ammunition to make people cry. So, yet.
Yes.
So I think
Fair.
that Baba Dishe, the Baba of the folk, I mean, she
Still
took quite a
thinks
liking.
you smell wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect. That's exactly
Yep.
I think she's like recognizes his raw potential. That's still very like lackadaisical as far as training is concerned. It's just like whatever happens as he grows, he grows. And I think that she encourages him to focus and apply himself a little bit more, and like basically like tap into that magic and learn to like truly understand the magic. And she suggests that certain people understand their magic through through books, certain people understand it through prayer, and certain people understand it through music. And of course, like Harlan's thinking about all the music that Oliet has played and whatnot. And so I think that he kind of latches onto that. And so Harlan took a couple levels of Bard.
Hey, we got our multi-class in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Got a multi-class.
Kick
Yeah,
ass.
so a couple levels Bard, so nothing too class specific aside from some additional spells, which, of course, can use the meta magic that he already knew from being a sorcerer, so legit. Super excited about that. Throwing giant explosive balls of acid and being like, "No, my friends are good." Yeah, it's great.
Bardland.
Bardland.
And I will say, just from a little flavor perspective, Baba Dishe does request that you perform anything you want. She would. What is that? What's that Nick Swartz thing? Just a little music for everyone. Just some music. So occasionally, as you're all training, you'll hear a warble come
Poor
from.
Judd is dead. Poor Judd Fry is dead.
I did not teach him that. Just let the record show.
Yep. Okay, so you take some Bard with some influence from Oliet and from Baba Dishe.
Yep.
So Oliet, how does Baba Soli start influencing Oliet? I mean, it's Baba Soli and Her Majesty, to some degree. It's both of them. She, more than anyone, seems to soften. She was just upfront terrifying. And she and the more time you spend with her, you start seeing mannerisms. You start seeing little like glances, you start seeing little like turns of phrase, and it is very much sort of a combining of the two teachers.
Yeah. So Oliet, Oliet, I think, has reached a bit of a stuck place. In the beginning, I think, not really sure, where to go from here, and realizing that there's so much at stake, and it's starting to really hit home. And she realizes that she's really going to have to up her game.
Definitely.
So I think Oliet, within probably the first day, if not in that moment on the porch, essentially asks Soli to guide her, and tells Baba Soli that she loves her in any form, doesn't matter which version she is, and that Oliet only is who she is because she already knows her. And so Oliet becomes a warlock, patron of the Archfey.
Oh, and Baba Soli is more than interested in taking on
Sure.
What's a good example of the kind of rapport you would have with her? As far as a warlock patron relationship goes. She is very interested in this idea of cultivating your abilities. The idea of when all of this is done, and this might be part of the deal you make, when all this fuss with the Lord of Tales has been resolved one way or the other, she would like to continue cultivating your skills. And that having somebody who could, well, in the book, Her Majesty of the Word is a keeper of law and a keeper of story. How important memory is. And I'll get to this for everybody, but you do find that in the hut of Baba Soli, she too keeps record. Maybe in a little more macabre way, but you find that she has, well, there's lots of skulls in her.
I was just gonna say, are there bookshelves that are full of skulls? 'Cause
I mean,
I'm
there
so
are.
into this.
There are. The skulls have etchings all over them, runes in different languages, different styles of magic. You find that to some degree, they act as her own spell tome. It's just where she keeps all the arcane knowledge that she's accumulated over the centuries and millennia. They are also vessels for former warlocks, people who have pledged themselves to her before, people who crossed her before. She does say, she claims, but you think she's probably telling you the truth, given Fae. But she says that, at least for the followers of her, it's a voluntary choice. To be part of her own personal collection.
Well, that's pretty perfect, because I think Oliette's primary request is that the Queen teach her to see with eyes unclouded. To help her hone what she sees around her, to make it more difficult for things to be hidden from her. So what Oliette picks up is an ability to see in all sorts of darkness, as well as the ability to read all writing.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I don't have to ever worry about... You don't know this language. Fuck that. Like shit, I don't. I get that I get called on that a lot when I have warlocks in my campaigns. I'll be like, "That's weird. You don't know that language." Yeah, I do. Or rather, I don't know that language, but I know what it says.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's fucking fabulous. That's some. Ooh, flavor-wise, that's so good. That she just, this idea of this sort of supernatural, and you know, magic's a thing, obviously. You cast magic all the time, but there's this difference between that and tapping into this Fae essence and supernaturally affecting your mind and perception. And it just I don't know, it rings a little different. You know? It hits a little different. So yeah, you connect with, rather than continuing to connect with the idea of being a speaker for the dead, you take on this aspect of piercing into the truth of things, which is very, very much in the wheelhouse of Her Majesty of the Word. Oh, that's so good. And we will revisit with Paru. But Paru obviously has tea time with Baba Yaga. And we'll talk to Tessa about what her multi-classing is. But the other big change in your companion group is Villain. Villain starts spending their time with Baba Zasha. And that no one is surprised when that happens. And there's this odd little shift in him. It's not bad. It's just it almost reminds you a little bit of how he was in Rose Upon the River. A little unburdened with something. I mean, obviously he's still dealing and processing everything that happened to him when he was being manipulated and used by Lord of Tales and Her Majesty of the Trade. But Baba Zasha takes him under her wing. No, she doesn't have wings. Under her tattered cape. I don't know. Into her face house. And he gets the opportunity to reinvent himself a little bit. You start watching him training with her and learning more about how to give other people the opportunity that he's been given. Healing and protecting. You watch at some point where he ends up with, somebody gives him a blade to practice with, and he's wielding it in his offhand, his real hand. And the prosthetic, or rather no, he's wielding it in the prosthetic. And when, let's say that Beza and Villain train a little bit together, you know, it's like
Probably happened.
It's like Baba Zasha doesn't say anything, but Baba Tifu's like, Baba Zasha has asked for me to throw a rock at you. What? and the rocks start getting thrown. And you watch.
It's all right, Villain. Just keep moving your feet.
Okay. And you watch as he sees you hit a rock away, but you sort of turn from it, and another one starts sailing towards you, and Villain reaches out with his human hand, changeling hand, physical hand. And this shimmer of almost like rainbow, like a bubble, like that light reflection, kind of shields up from his arm, and the rock crashes against it. And I have decided that's how his actual normal everyday shield begins to manifest. It is just like a little reflective glitch. He takes the protection fighting style. So he'll be able to impose disadvantage on attacks against someone if he's within 5 feet of them. He gets a bunch of paladin spells, healing spells, dispelling magic, smiting the shit out of things. But his focus becomes less. He tries really hard to not focus on the vengeance angle of all of this. Getting to Her Majesty the Trade and stopping her by just obliterating her. If other people want to do that, that's fine. He needs to heal in a different direction. In a different way. And part of that is agreeing with Baba Zasha that he needs to focus on moving forward and being better for his family. So Verlaine takes the oath of redemption.
That's okay. Beza and Paru will totally kill her for him. It's fine.
Yeah,
we got
he
it.
figured that. Kyle, you lose
It's beautiful.
inspiration for that.
No, it's beautiful. Like it made me misty when you
well,
when you
okay,
said
that's
it.
not what that sounds like. It sounds like, as
I
other people
didn't
said, he
say
became
the
more of a
other
daddy.
Word. I didn't say the other word.
Anyway, it's fine. This is great. Anyone watching this on VOD, sorry that we don't have the chat up for you to also get on Kyle's case. So, I will say that the kids, the twins, your Tabaxi wards, Toshi and Nicket, they do a little bit here and there, getting ready to be in the middle of something, they assume. I think that a discussion probably needs to be had among everybody about whether or not they are to be brought in during this conflict, or if you're going to leave them here, or if you're going to leave here first and then go into the book. Where do you feel most comfortable leaving them, if you feel comfortable leaving them?
I assume we're like sitting around one night.
Yeah. This is a lot different than being in the book, because you're all just hanging out among a swarm of these houses. You're more in a commune than you are spread across the kingdom. The queensdom, sorry. So yeah, you're all just spending time. I assume that the houses have moved here and there over the last week or two, across the swamp. So you've gotten to like hang out in the houses, but you have this conversation. Verlaine, for their part, is of the opinion that they shouldn't be there for the fight. I've been thinking about it a lot, and part of me thinks that maybe if things got real bad, that they might be better off in the book. They could have time works different. They could have a childhood. They could actually have a life there. It's not just worrying about the clockwork and ink monsters and all that shit. But it's not safe yet, so I would want it safe first.
Agreed. I'm torn because I know that Nicket and Toshi are gonna want to come with us, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think we should take them into the big fight. It doesn't seem like a good idea.
If you tell Nicket to take care of their brother, they will. If we told them to stay here and watch their brother, Nicket would take that job
Right.
seriously.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And
Yeah.
I do think, at least for now, that the best place for us to leave them is probably here with the Babas. I mean,
Could also
it's not quite the same connection to us that they have, but I also don't think the Babas would hurt them since they're related to us, and at least the Babas could protect them if who comes looking for them.
They don't
To
have
hurt us.
anything to do with them. I mean, the only, I guess... God damn it. Yeah, he could use them against us if he knew where they were. I didn't even... Fuck. I
And
didn't even think of it.
the Barbas could protect them more than, as much as they loved Rose up on the river. I don't think anyone there could protect them the same way.
Yeah. 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 What do you two think?
Well, I guess my first question would be, if we were to leave the Feywild first, do we end up where we went in, or do we end up somewhere else?
No, for sure, but most of the time, fixed portals like that it's like a door. It just opens and closes, so
We could ask
theoretically,
them. We could ask
we
them
could ask them.
to take us back to Fagro. Could you leave us at the tree? I mean, the thing's connected. Maybe it's easier to send us there.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, because that tree has never been taken down, and Mechanist Authority has tried to on a few occasions, and
Yeah.
still is not. They haven't brought it down, so I think that'd be the safest place. Not quite on terra firma, but
But a little less creepifying.
I mean, have you met
There is
Nickit?
that-
This is like right up their alley, though.
I mean, yeah.
Wild idea. What if we just asked them? They're not babies. They're allowed to have an opinion about their future. Nobody asked us what we wanted.
So we ask them, or do we say, you're not going, where do you want to go instead?
These are your two options. What would work best for you?
All right, so we ask them if they want to stay with the Barbas or if they want to go back to Fagro.
Yeah. Okay. Any interest in swaying them one way or the other, or do you want to just hands off?
Then choose. Either way, we have a way back to them. We know how to get to them.
Yeah.
And I think that they've been with us for a very long time. And I know that we have been a unit, but I do think that they deserve some agency at this point.
Yeah. Probably owe them that much. Okay.
Round, I would just call out to them right in this moment, like, hey, if they're within shouting distance.
Toshi leaves Baba Dishe's hut with like a bowl full of something steaming, like, yeah, what's up?
Come on.
Nickit comes out of the house too. I confirmed it was food. It's fine.
Appreciate it. We need to talk to you. To both of you.
Okay. Boom. He just kind of hops down off the... rather, he trots down the stairs and Nickit, like, takes a railing down. Like hops the railing. There's a little splatter of mud. It's like, you're gonna get some in my food. Gosh.
Oop.
That's what you're worried about? You're worried about mud in that. He just kind of puts the bowl closer to his mouth to protect it from nothing. And the kids come over. They sit down. You guys are probably, honestly, the houses are probably close enough. You guys are probably on a porch rather than sitting in the mud. What's up?
Fair.
Well, we're about to go to war, and we want you to be safe. So we wanted to see what you thought about staying somewhere safe. And there are a couple of options.
Okay. Options. Like what? I mean, we're safest when we're with you guys.
Well, I won't disagree that we've been able to protect you thus far, but
We've
there may be
also
others who.
caused a lot of the problem, kid. And they both look a little like they don't really believe that. They don't like the implication there.
So we was thinking that maybe you want to stay with the stay here with the barbers, which would you'd have food, you'd have shelter, and arguably some of the most powerful beings in the realms protecting you. And we know where to find you. Or we could take you back to Fagro, and you could find something to occupy yourselves with while there. Maybe set up a food cart. Sell
For,
rutabagas.
not for eating.
So she's just like, that sounds fake. I don't know about that.
Big.
Okay, so we pick where you drop us off?
Temporarily.
Also, keep in mind, we don't know exactly how long it's gonna actually be because the time in the book is very different from out here.
Yeah.
It's like when we went in, when you guys were with Verlaine back at Mammon's place, we were in there very quickly. But for us, it was like a month.
Yeah, I know. Just
Say it.
I don't like you going. You don't come back and we don't know what happened. Just do we keep the book or what?
The book stay here with the Babas. If you'd like to stay near the book, you can, but you don't have to.
And things that happen in the book do appear on the pages, so you will be able to at least, in a way, keep track of us.
Okay.
Right this second, we're not leaving like right now, but you need to sit with it and think about it. Obviously, the desired outcome here is that we come back, all of us together, and then we just continue with what we were doing before. But I also don't want, I'm not going to lie to you or baby you. It could get really hairy, and you need to be prepared to take care of one another.
Toshi kind of smirks into his food and he's like, we're already hairy. Nick is just like, shut up. And they both kind of look at each other for a bit. Well, I'll go wherever Nick goes. And I want to be here when you get back. Like right when you get back. So, I guess. She kind of looks down at their feet. I guess we're hanging in the swamp.
I mean, think of everything that you're going to learn. I mean, how to
Don't say cook.
make mud pies and brew poisons. Is
How
I
to
don't know.
poison people? It's how to make friends and poison people.
Baba Dishe has some very specific sets of skills.
It's weird
Yeah.
when the least intimidating one is in a house covered in face skin.
I mean, weird or exciting?
weird.
It can be both. It can be both.
It can be. It's like 70% weird.
Listen, we'll take that. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, that is fair.
And Toshi's like, well, there's no tabaxi faces on it, so that's good.
See?
Maybe
Already
that
off
just
on the right
means-
foot.
Maybe that just means she hasn't finished her collection. And Toshi's like, what's this food? And Valaine's like, knock it off. Be nice to your brother. That was never a stipulation of this.
True, we didn't put that out there at the forefront, so.
True.
Fine.
I'll just wink at the kittens. So we'll meet you back here then. You must make yourselves useful. This isn't. It's not exactly a daycare, so you might be expected to help or learn or contribute in some way.
Sure. But I've also, like, done day jobs for, like, old grandmas before, and if the babas make me rub their feet, I'm not okay with that.
I think it's okay to have boundaries. I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I want to stay here. Or I guess wherever they go. And, so they agree to hang out with the babas. So as you are, there was a little fun flavor thing that I forgot to mention. After Valaine got his curse removed, he spent a good several days occasionally just going out into the swamp and just, like, loudly cussing out the Lord of Tales and Her Majesty of the Trade.
Mood.
Some very colorful language that I'm sure the twins picked up on. Yeah, like, can you just, I need some me time. Could you do earmuffs while I'm gone?
Amazing.
So yeah, so over those couple of weeks, you train with the babas. You learn, you perfect your skills, or you improve your skills. And you also meet, you meet Marzipan more, the little shadow creature. Just starts hitching a ride with the babas. Was looking to make themselves useful in exchange for helping to bring back the glory of their little shadow kingdom. Like, they had a little village and it got trampled by some less savory fae, and she vows revenge. And so the babas are basically gonna help her on her John Wick revenge kick. There's the rhyme. So that's what Marzipan's doing.
Amazing.
As the houses start shifting around, and moving, you probably spend some time with the houses. Maybe, Oliette, you spend some time in the air around them, kind of seeing what's around in the swamp. The swamp seems endless. It's just different types of swamp and wetland, trudging for days, just not changing. You wonder, this can't be what the whole Feywild is like.
I probably take Nicket with me when I do that.
Okay, sure. You just kind of hold on to them, like. Right,
Yeah, if we're
going.
in the air, I'll let them kind of piggyback, or when we're just trudging
Sure.
around doing laps, I very much want them, and I would convey this to them in no uncertain terms. Like, I need you to be quick on your feet. We've got to.
Okay. I gotta move fast, then,
You're
or I start
good,
sinking in the mud.
but we got to get you better.
Okay. Yeah. Nickit ends up doing a lot of parkour up the houses. Does a little like jump in between the houses as they're moving, things like that. At one point, Toshi, of course, as is their habit, slips and eats it. Falls off one of the houses and just hits the mud as one of these houses is going like really like right up to where Nickit's laying down. And Olia, you barely like see as this house starts almost near trampling Nickit. And
Toshi.
Oh, was it
Did Toshi fall or Nickit fall?
Nickit?
Sorry,
Nickit's the one that keeps hurting
okay.
their leg.
Got it,
Because they keep rolling nat ones on things.
Whoops.
Yeah, pretty much. Slips on a roof. Didn't have a spotter. hits the mud. But just before this house, one of the houses just tramples Nickit on the ground. A blur of movement appears from just like behind trees and like hauls Nickit out of the mud and pulls away. And you see suddenly picking Nickit up and kind of wiping down the mud, someone you've never seen before. A fawn. With moss and sort of like this almost mushroom style armor. Like the plating is sort of made of mushrooms. And they look over Toshi and or not Toshi, Nickit, and they have this long mahogany staff that looks almost like a way to stabilize in the mud, and their hooves are sort of doing this little shuffle so they don't sink. And they're just brushing off Nickit, and this fawn, she says, "It's really not wise to be running underfoot, under house, I suppose." And is wiping our index. And is this anyone's child? You really must be more careful.
That's a loaded question, kind of.
Verlaine calls from the porch. Yeah, what's up? Your child almost got trampled by the home. That's not, I usually don't worry about the ones who stay in the houses. That's a new one. What is your face? Your face is loud.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Acacia.
Acacia.
Guardian of the Path, self-imposed. The Babas tend to meander the swamp quite haphazardly, and so I make sure that little creatures, just kind of brushes some more mud off of Nickit's head, don't get trampled.
So you're crossing guard.
I like to think more of a shepherd, but I suppose if you want to be vulgar about it, sure.
I don't know that it was vulgar.
I shouldn't say anything then if that's vulgar.
Well, please, it looks at Nickit, please don't do that again. And, you all, watch your luggage. Starts scooting Nickit, like picks Nickit and like nudges them towards the porch and like hangs on like a wet cat. Okay, there you go. Now stay. Wait, that's dogs. Sorry.
That was mildly offensive.
Well, you don't know that. You're not from around here. Still doing a little do-si-do to not
smushed.
to not think of the mud.
thanks for looking out for them. And do you just kind of trail around after the huts, or do you run around in front? Or...
She nods. Just keeping out of the way, of course. But yes, I follow wherever they go.
And you make a living doing this?
I live? What do you mean?
Well, like how do you get? I mean, I guess you could rummage.
No,
What's
there's
the
plenty
word?
to find in the swamp if you know where to look. And
Right.
like even as she's talking, she like sidles up to a tree and is like hitting it with her stick. And then when you hit like a sudden like hollow part, she like stabs into the tree, reaches in really quick and pulls out like some sort of large snail. Starts just
Okay.
Duly noted.
You know, sometimes I'm really glad I don't have to eat.
Okay.
foraging is not that difficult in the Feywild.
Fair enough.
If you know what to read, if you know what to do, and you don't possess a mortal soul. If you want to talk about foraging, that's the real problem. You walk around with one of those, you've just got like a dinner bell ringing over your head all the time. You're very lucky that you're hanging out with the Babas and that they haven't consumed you yet. I'm very shocked by that, actually. What's your secret?
Oh, mine's tried taking a couple nibbles every now and again, but
Different, Harland.
Baba Dishe?
yeah, that's the one.
She sometimes throws things over the over her back porch. It's very nice of her.
I think I've
Like-
only seen her do that with the bedpans.
Ew.
That's so
Kyle.
foul.
It really is. Wow. And Acacia just goes, no.
I didn't say that she didn't throw other things. I thought that never mind. I'm just gonna be over here.
It's fine, you're forgiven. So, if you ever need anything, and you're in the vicinity of the circle of Babas, I am more than happy to provide any sort of altruistic assistance. It's kind of my deal. Yes, Harland. Really struggling there.
I'm afraid to open my mouth now. I just keep sticking my foot in it, and I don't like the taste of mud.
Well, you know, eventually you run out of feet. So, yes, you have Acacia around, which you do realize that at least you have a little bit of backup if you leave the kittens here. Acacia, occasionally you see her pull up the odd little critter or something that gets almost trampled by the houses, just like just kind of zooming around. She's almost got like a wind spirit vibe to her. She's that fast. When she's not like just doing the little do-si-do in the mud, she's like it's very impressive. And Acacia was provided by one of our players last week, and I didn't get a chance to get her in, so I'm very glad I got her in. All right, so with a plan for what to do with the kittens, and at least a next step.
Yeah. Before we go, I guess we'll brief the Babas.
Okay.
maybe each individually to their own or as a group, whatever makes most sense at that moment. But let them know the basics, like we're gonna go, we'll be back, the kittens are gonna stay here so that we can take them when we go.
That's fair.
I do think before we leave, if Nickit is showing some improvement, or at the very least some grit.
Some grit. I'll roll for grit. Same number. Yeah. She's getting a little better. Namely, what are you trying to make sure that Nickit absorbs here?
Yuckle with her.
One more time?
I'm gonna leave my weapon with her, with them.
Oh, okay.
It'll be more of a staff for them since they're
Yeah, they're a little shorter.
but it's like a 3-foot spear essentially.
Okay.
It's got like a long blade at the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it with them, and I'm gonna leave the drum with Toshi.
Okay. So Nickit will take your weapon and just sort of like kind of pull it close, like, okay.
For me?
Yeah.
Don't make any deals with anyone. And if you can help it, besides the Babas, don't tell anybody your name.
Okay. They've just been calling me Small Fry. I've been letting them do that.
That'll work.
Dishe calls Toshi the bottomless pit.
That also is not inaccurate.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. And after a minute, Nickit, like, kind of steps a little closer and gives you a hug. Please be careful.
There's definitely a moment of like, huh?
Wrong cat. What's happening?
Yeah.
Like, Toshi's the hugger, and Nickit's not.
Yeah, we'll briefly kind of wrap my arms around them and kind of give them an affectionate, like, little pinch on the cheek. All right, we'll be back.
Okay. I expect under an hour.
Here's helping.
Sure.
Take care of each other, no matter what.
Unless she throws mud in my fur again. That was an accident. No, it wasn't. Yeah, you're right, it wasn't.
I will say that we were gone for what was it, 2 hours in the real world the first time that we left. So
That was years.
hopefully, yeah. So hopefully it won't take quite that long.
Yeah.
I know I got time, but I don't know about the rest of these.
Or funny business.
They both nod and kind of scooch up to each other on the porch. Okay.
Take the book into Baba Soli while people are kind of gathering and saying goodbyes. And
Baba Soli is looking over the skulls, and her hands kind of graze over one, and the runes light up, and smoke sort of pools from the runes as her hand goes by them. And she's having little conversations here and there with them. Oh no, I think everything will be fine. No, you are always overcomplicating things. No, everything's good. You are, as always, very funny. And she's just talking to them. And when you come in, Soli turns, the elven woman with the almost death mask painted on. Long ears, hood, and sort of black funereal robe. The bookkeeper. What can I do for you, my dear?
The time has come. We have to go.
Ah. And see your teacher. Your other teacher. The queens of your book may be shadows of us. They do contain an aspect of each of us. Perhaps a remnant, perhaps something that the self-proclaimed Lord took from each of us in his seeking power. What you do next is not advisable. Yet it must be done. How do you feel at the prospect?
Kid. But in a nutshell, terrified but determined.
Terror is the only sane reaction. Determined is acceptable. Perhaps even encouraging. When you return, not if, mind you, when. I look forward to future conversations with you.
I realize that you owe us nothing. But if I may be so bold, if we don't come back, will you send the kittens on their way somewhere safe, maybe back to the tree, to Faebles?
This is, of course, assuming that they have not ingratiated themselves enough with us that they do not wish to stay. If you do not return, as they do now, they will have a choice to stay or go. They stay of their own volition. And if they are reasonably entertaining, I don't think any of my I do not believe any of the others will have concern for this. They will agree.
Question is, where do I get an outfit like what you're wearing? Like the high collar? Did you get that made custom, or is there somebody here that like did that for you? Is that just magic?
1,000 lifetimes in the core of the natural world, wasting and rotting away with the memories of all mortals and immortals of the Feywild, writhing in your mind like a current.
custom then.
And she very gingerly nods her head.
Okay. Okay. I had to ask. I'm just a little. I'm inspired. That's all I'm saying. It's fine. I get it. I get it. Claimed. Okay. I'll go grab everyone from their respective wherever.
She went shopping at the Baba Republic. Anyway.
Gosh, oh gosh.
Wow.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Lane Bobbin.
That's better. I think that's better for their age group.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh, for some reason I got Lane Bryant mixed up with Ann Taylor. Sorry.
Ann Taylor Hut, but yeah.
Yeah, Taylor
Gotcha.
Chicken Hut. Yeah, that's very good. Dear Lord. All right.
Love us.
I have a good time. I hope you all watching have a good time. Because we do. We have fun here. All right. So you all collect and prepare for your, I guess, trip home.
We're in the book. It was a minute ago, right? It was before Rose Upon the River.
Yeah.
So out here, it's been months.
Oh, no, Her Majesty of the Word definitely clarified for you that it had been a while.
Saying out here, well, not Feywild, but in the material plane, it's been months, like 6, 7, 8 months or something since we've been there. So by their standards, it has been decades.
Potentially. If time passes
time dilation,
in...
yeah.
If time passes in the same way.
If it's still functioning that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think Harland would give the kittens the seal plushies that he's been carrying around and trying to cart that off. Like,
How
for
many
trade.
of them?
Oh, there's 5.
Uh-huh. Great.
Yeah, there's one that looks like each of us.
Oh my god.
It at least has colors for each of us. There's
Uh-huh.
2 blue ones. There's a gray and a gold one. There's hold on. White and gold, green and brick red, gray and black, and 2 blues.
Delightful. Absolutely
Cute.
delightful. Thank you for this treasure. Okay. So without taking the book, but you do open it. Do you write anything? Or do you just... I mean, as far as you're aware, you don't really control... Like, you haven't figured out how to control going in and out of the book. You kind of have to just ask.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I think Chris isn't clever enough to know, but I think Oliette would know to jot down a quote, maybe a few lines from a story referencing the changing of tides
Okay.
and a ship seeking permission.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great. And you are all talking and waiting and not sure what to expect, and then like a millisecond later, you feel that foreign in only that it's been a while. Otherwise, just potently familiar feeling of falling backwards and then almost head first, and then you are on solid ground. And you are in the forest. Not in a court, just in the middle of the forest. Not quite sure where. You see familiar large trees. But there is something very hyper real about it. It's been so long since you've been here, it's almost... It's striking how oddly it feels like the foliage here is just like overly bright and saturated. And so you see all of these flowers climbing up vines, and they're just, like I said, it looks like someone pulled the saturation up on them. And especially since being in the swamp in the Fae Swamp, everything is just a little too bright, a little too colorful. It's like, oh God, we fell into a Disney cartoon.
Yeah, like Oz versus Kansas in
Oh yes,
Wizard of Oz.
absolutely. That would precisely be the metaphor had I remembered. And you all look around. The kittens are not with you. Verlaine has like a curved blade that they got from Baba Zasha. It's a little like a dark metal, almost looks like it's well, when he left, when you all were in the swamp, it looked like it had been decaying, like there was growth on it. Now that you're here in the book, it is clean and polished and beautiful. It looks like platinum. Bright white, shining. The reflection on it is almost a little bit of rainbow, just slightly. There's that sort of opalescent effect on it. And as he was sort of preparing to pull that out and like be ready for anything, it just seems calm here, and it takes him a second, and then he just starts paying attention to the blade in his hand. Gets a little confused by it, turning it over in his hand.
Okay, well, where do we go now?
I guess the question is, where are we right now?
Well,
Yeah.
if we're near a big crevice, then we know that we're where we originally came in. I know that.
I guess I can look. I guess I'll try to fly up and break the top of the tree line and see if I can get my bearings. Do I see any massive like landmarks, anything that I could kind of get my bearings a little bit?
Sure. Give me a D10,000.
I looked at my dice tray like,
Which one's
like
that?
was gonna happen. Yeah.
It's the non-Euclidean die that you have somewhere in your...
If you Google random number between.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'll work.
smart,
That's
smart,
the easiest way to
smart.
do it.
Random number between 1 and 10,000. Okay. 9514.
9514.
That's not small.
It's not. Okay.
I just need 1,000 D10s. It's fine.
We'll be here for a while.
Everything is content.
Mm-hmm.
This became an ASMR podcast when you weren't looking. Just the sound of dice rolling.
Oh my
For
god.
the next 3 hours.
Okay, but somebody would subscribe to that. That's all I'm saying. I don't know who they are.
Hopefully.
So you that was the wrong die. I don't know why I rolled that. That's also not the die. It's dark in my room, you guys. Okay, so okay. So you look up, you reach the canopy, and you see out over the tree line. And there's this little hint of anxiety as you get to the top, like you're not sure what you're gonna see. And when you do reach the top and you break through, there is sunlight, bright, kind of blinds you a second. You blink it away, and you see a massive mountain ridge, familiar. You see very tall trees that block your view of what would be Her Majesty of the Hunt's Tower. These big trees. You don't remember those. And you almost see like there's stuff like between the trees, maybe like bridges or something. Maybe there's something up there, like some sort of colony or something. You also see what looks like a massive anthill or termite mound off to one side. It's a desert area you don't remember seeing. It's a biome that was not familiar to you. Good job, Kyle. That's pretty good. And yeah, you do note a couple of things. You see a few things that are like, that looks familiar. Off to the ways you see a log, massive, like a fallen tree. That looks familiar. That's Her Majesty of the Vines realm. Big fallen, big felled, like world tree. You also see a section of, like, on a mountain, like on the base of a mountain, you see a bunch of color, like, boop, 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 boop. It kind of looks like mushroom caps, like poking up out of the mountain. And there also appears to be a village. Not too far. And a massive river breaking in between you and this town. And you look, and the river just keeps going. It, like, sort of ducks behind a mountain. You don't know where it goes. Really big, though.
Okay, I'll go back down and convey all of that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you found some landmarks, like you saw Her Majesty of the Vines region, and you know the direction that Her Majesty of the Hunt's Tower would be. I mean, we can pick any of the directions, really.
Well, do we want to... Do we want to seek someone in particular out?
Well, the only two places I recognized were the Queen of the Hunt and the Queen of the Vine.
Okay. Well,
So one of those two places, maybe? Beza? Do you want to...
We can head to my house. Well, to my home.
go to my parents' place.
I wonder how much time has passed. Those trees are a lot bigger from what you're describing. I mean, they were always tall, don't get me wrong. But they sound like they've gotten even bigger. And there definitely weren't, like, bridges or houses or anything up in them before.
Some of it's different. Didn't spend as much time out here as y'all did, so I don't know for sure. Remember a river. But, you know, that doesn't mean much. There's a lot has happened, so yeah, I guess let's head there first.
All right.
So you're heading for the hunt? Okay. So you start heading in that direction in the woods. You see some animals on your way there. As usual, they're weird. Weird hybrid avatar animals. And it takes you like 4 hours. It's a walk. And as you, I don't remember the directions. That's been a while. Actually, do I have it? I don't think I do. I really should have written this down.
Could have been like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll have to recheck. That's a good point. But you start heading towards Her Majesty of the Hunt. You see the mountains that should sort of result in a tower, a sort of hunting tower. But, as I said, in front of them are these massive, like, Ewok forest trees, these huge sequoias. They're easily 20 feet across, 30 feet across, and hundreds of feet in the air. And you sort of, nothing really super eventful happens on the way there, but as you reach it, you see some telltale signs of Her Majesty of the Hunt. You see these massive spear-like protrusions, some of them in the ground, some of them sticking out of the trees. Long since overgrown. Like, they've been there so long that they've started sprouting again. There's mushrooms growing on them, there's little vines, there's little plants that have started sort of hanging out in them. A few of them have creatures living in them. You see bugs and small little ground creatures. And after a bit, these big trees, you see some of these spears were even used to, like, connect to some of this living situation up here. These large, almost like Fagro, built into the trees. These houses, these sort of domed spaces. Some of them look a little like weavers, like bird weaver nests. The like dome-looking, sort of thatched homes built into the branches up above. And occasionally you'll see one of Her Majesty of the Hunt's like log width spears sticking out of one of the big trees, and then it's used as part of a rope ladder thing, and there's a couple more like other intentional stakes put in, but every so often it's using one of Her Majesty of the Hunt's spears. And above you hear bird calls. You hear like intentional bird calls, like almost like hunting calls. You hear some chattering in Sylvan. it seems like there's a bunch of people up there. They're a little hard to see because there are branches before you hit whatever's livable up there.
Okay. I'm assuming that there's probably some sort of call that the hunters would use to indicate, like, I'm a friend, or I'm one
Sure.
of you, or whatever.
Absolutely.
She doesn't know how much time has passed, so it's possible the call has changed, but she tries calling out with it.
Yeah, you have this little like whooping, chirping noise that you let out. It echoes everywhere. And almost immediately when that starts echoing, all of the sounds just go quiet. Like all of the noise, all the people speaking, everything goes quiet. And then you start sort of seeing movement up in the trees above you. And there are the sounds of, well, some very familiar sounds for you, Beza. You hear the sounds of bows being loosed, arrows being loosed, rather. And a bunch of arrows hit the ground around you all, very precisely. Not trying to hit you. Very clearly meant to be in this kind of almost neat circle around you all. And attached to them, or at least it looks like there's thread attached to them. It sort of shimmers in the light, and it's almost like fishing line, but it shimmers in this like gold light. And then with this little almost lightning effect from the top of the tree to the bottom where the arrow touches, this bolt of lightning hits, and in a little poof of smoke and magic, you see people. They look like hunters. There's a bugbear. There's a what looks like maybe a shifter. There's another fawn. These are all like animal folk, or like creature folk, forest folk. And they all have their bows drawn again with new arrows, and they're watching you all. They don't say anything, but they have their arrows notched.
All right. Beza slowly, since they seem nervous and she doesn't want her friends getting shot, raises an arm for whatever, that we never decided on one, but whatever the hunter's normal salute was the last time she was home. It's been a while since I've been home, so things have obviously changed. But we're here to see my mother and father and whoever else is still here.
And they all sort of stare for a long moment.
Do you want me to say it again in Sylvan?
And the bugbear looks at you and says, "Your hand signal's a little out of date there."
By how much?
Oh, well, the founding, my God. Well, antique, you know.
Oh, no. She looks at her friends. That doesn't sound like it's only been a few years. My name is Beza Tanto.
shit. Huh. Tusk's kid.
Dusk?
Tusk.
Tusk.
His
yes,
kid?
Tuskendale.
Oh, awesome. Why didn't you say so to start?
Well, the last time
If
I was
people
home,
would just-
everyone still recognized me.
Well, if people would just, start with the, hey, I got an in, don't shoot me, it'd be way easier.
Well, that's why I started with the call of, hey, I'm not here to cause problems and I'm part of the group.
Okay, easy. It's fine. Well,
Just so that we're aware, what should we use next time we're in the area and we need y'all to not shoot us?
he looks you up and down and is like, I don't know you.
I think we need Beza.
Yeah. There you go. Well, if you want to come, well, so you want to talk to? You said your mom. You mean Her Majesty?
Yeah, Mom,
That's weird.
they're not
You're
married.
weird.
That's weird and insubordinate. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I've called her that to her face and she seemed to be fine with it, so I think it's all right. I was literally like a day and a half old when I showed up here and got raised by her and Tuskendale, so they are Mom and Dad.
They were present during her formative years.
Just not when she was born. That's all.
Geriatric elephant just with like a single tear rolling down his cheek and he doesn't know why.
My girl. But no, this you do hear I'll say you hear a telltale and you watch as a very svelte Loxodon, young, kind of has a hand, like a clawed hand, not clawed, but like wearing a gauntlet, just slides down the tree, and hits the ground, and looks around to what's going on, and is like, you're supposed to be the crack team, and I do have to say that it leaves a lot to be desired. They're talking to them, not to you. No, not talking
You
to
don't
you.
know me? Cool. We're cool then.
Oh, everything's fine, friends. Everything's fine. Huh. Well, unexpected. And he reaches over, he takes the big gauntlet off and offers you a hand, Beza.
She'll take it.
Ms. Loxodon has a like a mask, like a little helmet piece over his head, and he kind of pops it off, and he's a Loxodon. I'm not gonna say he looks like Tuskendale because he just looks like a fucking elephant. And let's see. Audience, give me a name for a descendant of Sir Tuskendale. Or a kid, I haven't decided. But Tuskendale's so good, someone has to come up with something equally good. So the Loxodon shakes your hand and says, well, I never thought I'd actually... Ivoric. Yep, his name is Ivoric.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
Very good. That's very
That is
good.
Nice.
You may call me Ivoric. Ivoric Tuskendale.
Are you my brother?
Brother? I suppose. Sure. It's very nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
And I don't know how to, well, in for a penny, and he gives you a hug.
I'll come back.
And so yeah, so you watch as Beza is given a massive hug by Sir Bombus Tuskendale's son, Iverick. Yes, I did give him the first name Bombus. And yeah, so Iverick puts you down and says, "It has been ages since you have last been in the Queensdom. I don't know what brought you here, but welcome back."
We knew it had been a while. Time travel's different outside the book, so we didn't realize quite how long it had been.
So time has... I was going to say, you seem very sprightly. All of you.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's only been a couple of months. I mean, maybe half a year since we were inside the book.
Oh my, that is... that is something. That is certainly not of, Well, not one to look a gift crow in the mouth. Let's, I assume you wish to see Father.
Definitely.
Oh, well.
And Mom, too, but...
Her Majesty's a bit preoccupied at the moment, but I'm sure we could request an audience. Father's, and he points to the tower, which is it's across the no man's land. And the tower looks like it's been added onto since you've seen it last. There's more building underneath it. And there seems to be a water wheel because there's another river going through the no man's land, and so there's this water that's churning. And you see this big torch, or not torch, but a big brazier on the top that's lit like a frickin' tower, like a light of Gondor. And Sir Iverick says, please, we'll make break for the tower at once. Oh, Father will be beside himself. Oh.
It's good to be home.
And so Iverick takes you all on a there's a wagon or something, led by a large beast of burden of some kind. Sure, we'll go with this. It's called a plantelope. It looks like an aardvark with mushrooms growing out of it. And I just found it randomly, and the name was too good. And so this big beast of burden starts across, and Sir Iverick is sitting there, and he looks to you all, and specifically to you, Beza, and says, "Only a few months, you say? What sort of questing takes you away for only a few months? That's hardly a quest."
Well, it's just a stepping stone on the full quest. There's a lot going on. But we met the Queens of Fae outside the book.
Oh, dear. I don't understand what that means. Sounds very important, though. Of course.
Love him.
Yeah, it's kind of like a set of women that are really powerful, and not evil or anything, but definitely a little scarier than the majesties here in the book.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like it just went foof, like over his head. Well, I don't know much about that. I'm a simple knight. I go where the hunt is good, and I try to keep our I try to keep the regiment, such as it is, in tip-top shape.
Those are important things. And you gotta remember all of the rules. And always remember onward.
Onward! You are father's daughter.
Is that Oliette or Chris?
That's Chris. That is Chris.
And you all start making your way across the field, across the no man's land, and you emerge on the other side underneath the massive tower. And the tower is a lot older. It has seen probably its share of inclement weather, and it looks like even a little bit of action. There's some blast scars and things that have been like painted over with whitewash and all sorts of things like that. And you reach the bottom, and there are a number of folk soldiers or hunters at the bottom. You see a furbolg woman, or some sort of furbolg-esque woman with a side shave and long black-brown hair. And under her armor, she has all of these runic tattoos sort of spiraling along her arms. And she has pink eyes. They're very vibrant. And she has a big smile for Sir Iverick. And she looks out at the group of you, looks a little confused, and Sir Iverick hops off the wagon and pats the furbolg woman on the back, and she's like, ooh. And he goes, "We have brought favored guests for father to speak to. My father, not your father, my father." She looks like, "I gathered. Yeah, thanks." So, favored guests. That's, I mean, Iverick tends to overstate lots of things, so it might be an overstatement, but are welcome.
It's nice to meet you. I didn't catch your name, but I'm Beza Tanto, and she'll do what she's now learned is apparently an ancient salute, but it's the only one she knows, so she does the hunter salute.
She just goes, "Huh. Oh, I haven't seen that in an age and a half."
So I've been told, but I haven't learned the new one yet, so...
Ah, no, it's fine. Linby.
Nice to meet you.
The rest of you don't have the look about you. I assume you're also guests.
Which look are we supposed to have?
And she points at the tower, like you're from the Hunters Guild.
Oh, no.
Guild's not the word I want to use, but I'll come up with a better one. Well,
Association.
Sure, that's okay. That's fine. Just come on up, I guess. You yeah, okay. And she doesn't seem like she really gets the importance of you all. The lodge,
you also
the Hunter's
have any
Lodge.
of that mead that you had last time I was in here? It was that
Dire mead?
yeah, some of that good spicy stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, come on in.
I'd love me a flagon of that. Beza catches up with
Okay, I guess we should give them some space.
Her papa.
Oh.
Papa! So, So yeah, so
I'm just
you.
gonna. I'm definitely gonna. I don't know what this girl's deal is. But I'm gonna link my arm through Harlan's and then just kind of like mean mug her on the way in. I don't know, you bitch.
And she's just like, okay. Just keep going.
Back in my element.
Oh my god. For better or worse. And so you head inside. Iverick starts leading Beza up the stairs. If you want to come with me, and there's plenty to do down here if you want. The mead is... It's there. He goes up and starts showing Beza upstairs. And Linby, she sits, or she stands over by a large barrel with a tap in it. And she takes a big, like Crocodile Dundee knife and just, like, pops a cork that's in the side of it and grabs as much as she can. Well, it starts pouring and she spills a little bit, and she grabs a cup and starts filling this big flagon. And then when she sort of pops another cork into it, she moves her hand a little bit and some of the runes glow, and that mead that fell, like, kind of swirls up and goes into a nearby flagon that looks like half drank. But she hands a fresh one to you, Harland. How about you? Same thing? Drinks cure all ills between folk.
Great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about the stink eye, sure. And she walks over. And she gets a drink. Verlaine is sort of at the back, studying things. Not in a closed off way, just in a I don't have anything to contribute way. And so he's just kind of observing. It's a very different vibe than you're used to.
The beer. I think that's what we're doing right now.
Paru's probably outside with the plantaloupe.
Oh my god, probably. I'm just gonna put mushroom people in front of every scene to justify why Paru's getting distracted.
That tracks.
And you, and Verlaine just kind of, yeah, okay. And he gets a jar, I just picked up a candle. He gets a flagon of that's what happens when I get distracted with my hands. And he joins you, and Linby pours drinks for everybody. You all are drinking, and Beza, you start climbing the stairs with Iverick. And you hear Iverick shout up the stairwell, and everyone below hears Iverick shout up the stairwell. Father, Sir Tuskendale, I have a surprise for you. Ha ha! And you all start. He like bursts open a door, and as if bigger on the inside, you see this massive, like, hunting lodge room. There's a big Gaston kind of chair going on. There's like furs and antlers everywhere. It vaguely reminiscent of Her Majesty of the Hunt's court, but it's not. It's just kind of styled after. And there's a big fireplace roaring, and sitting in the chair, which is overlooking a wall of a map of the Queensdom. You see, staring up with these much longer tusks than you remember, like almost curled a little bit, and still a imposing image, but not in a full armor garb so much as in like whatever a hunter would wear as like leisure wear, like more of a like a fine coat made of leather, and it looks very much like he's moved up to middle management of the Hunter's Lodge kind of vibe. But he's a little older. His trunk has a little bit of armor on it still. And it's Sir Tuscandale. And he looks over as the door slams open, and you hear, "Ivric, my word, that's far too loud. You know my ears are sensitive." And he's like, "I'm sorry, Father, it's not my fault. I was very excited. I have a surprise for you. You said you shouted down the hall for it. What is the surprise?"
I can only imagine Baze is like behind him.
Oh my god, like absolutely. And Ivric kind of slides over and he goes, "Go ahead, go." Change the music
Baze
to be a little
just
nicer.
walks in with a big smile on her face and says, "Hi, Dad."
And he turns. "Hello?"
She keeps going and goes in for a big hug.
"Well, I've been in need of a squire. This is opportune timing."
I'll think about it. I kind of graduated from Squire, I think.
"Oh, nonsense. You'll always be my squire." "You'll always be my squire." And he just gets a little choked up. And he like just kneels down on one knee and just opens his arms to give you a hug. He's, like I said, he's massive. He's like probably like, I don't remember what height I established for him, but he is now about 8 feet tall. Big dude. It seems like with age, he's not so much aged as he's like gotten more enchanted or something. Like it's just got a bigger vibe to him. I'm gonna put a picture in chat
like
that's
he's pulled more energy and been influenced more by the Queen of the Hunt kind of thing.
Yeah. The picture I'm putting in chat is meant to be his tusks and his trunk. That's the vibe. Everything else doesn't quite fit, but it's that. I'll try to find a gentleman Loxodon at some point. It's like, yeah. So yeah, he gives you a big hug, and he puts you down and has these massive hands, and he's just like, "You don't look a day over whenever you left. I know that's a hollow compliment, but my goodness."
Well, I know it's been a lot longer in here, but for us it was only like 6 months.
Well, you have a look of having walked the world about you.
We trained with the queens outside the book.
I don't know what that means. Beza is just so insistent on telling everybody what happened, and has not yet computed that nobody but the queens really knows what you're talking about. You basically are just like, "I learned this really elaborate equation that I'm gonna completely list out for you now and expect you to know."
Yeah, but
Oh, but it's so adorable.
I brought something back for you and Mom and everyone else, actually. Although there's a
Really?
lot more hunters now, so I didn't bring enough for everybody because I didn't realize. how
Oh,
much
it's
time
fine.
had
They
passed.
haven't earned anything. They're still layabouts. They're just... They don't make them like they used to, you know? It's one of those things. That just... There was a spark. There was a spark and an ingenuity and a willingness to learn. They're just layabouts now. I don't know what to do with them. That's why I gave them all to
Well,
Ivric.
I was gonna say, it seems like you did pretty good with my little brother.
Oh yes,
Well,
Iverick came.
little brother.
Iverick practically was born with a hammer in his hand. Little so and so.
All right. Well, and Beza will reach in her bag. I imagine she probably did grab a few extras. She didn't know she had a little brother, so the elephant parent
Little.
statue still only has the one kid on it.
Oh, it's okay. Well, you were their kid. I mean, I don't think Iverick necessarily considers Her Majesty of the Hunt to be a parent.
That's fair. So she pulls out the statue she had gotten that's like the big daddy elephant with a little baby elephant. The white stone one that we got in the island whose name I'm blanking on.
Mythgar.
Mythgar, thank you. I got you this.
Oh, that's very. And he says that, basically he keeps repeating himself. He never really hits an adjective. He just, and he's just like, just give me a moment, I'll be fine. and he looks at the little statuette and he's just like, thank you, Beza.
You're welcome. We were definitely thinking of everyone in the book, even though we weren't here.
Not that I
Sorry,
needed a
so-
keepsake to remember you by.
I'm sorry so much time passed. We didn't realize exactly how much was passing here versus outside the book.
Life takes us on unexpected journeys, my dear. And sometimes those things take us far away for a very long time. Sometimes we never arrive back where we started. I am here, though, very glad to see you. Fate found in itself a bit of mercy to show us a little glimpse of each other again. That does my heart good.
I'm really glad I get to see you again, too. And meet my brother. And...
Oh.
And now I need to talk to Mom, too. But they were saying she's really busy.
Yes, the queens have been, well, the queens have been a bit busy. There have been a few, I don't want to say fractures, but there have been subcommittees, let's say.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, as you said, much time has passed. There have been a number of incursions and things. Oh, no one. I assume you haven't heard of the great book invasion. I'm sorry. I'm just like, all of these little big boys just came in from the ocean. Throwing money everywhere. Sorry.
They kept saying, "Stop! It's maritime."
Oh my god.
I hate it so much.
Someone adopt me. I want to leave here.
You would like to emancipate yourself from
I'm gonna
this
emancipate
game.
myself from this stream.
Nope, too late. We signed the paperwork already. You're Chris Shenanigoon now. There's no getting over it.
Oh my god. Little big boys.
Anyway, okay. Can someone please clip that whole
Yep.
nonsense, please? Thank you.
Cannot.
Anyway, he says, well, you spend enough time running a place, and enough time passes, there are bound to be little disagreements here and there. The queens, for the most part, have been fairly stable. They just, occasionally there's a, well, one thing that came up was the circle of spores. They established an above-ground domain, so that caused a little bit of a territory dispute, and a few queens went one way, a few queens went the other way, and then there was, it will heal itself in time, I am quite sure. This newest one.
What's the newest one?
Did you see the natural tower over there? The mud tower.
You mean the sand one
Yes.
in the desert?
Yes, the encroachment of the barren land. Yes, that's the newest to do, I suppose. A lot of it just feels a bit like the queensdom itself has been getting encroached upon a bit by outside forces?
I mean, that's one of the reasons we're here.
You make jokes, Kyle. And then they end up in my book. They end up in my notes. So you're gonna have to deal with that now. Pizza? So you, so Tuscandale tells you a little bit that you gather that there have been generations have passed, like decades, if not centuries. Granted, nobody here seems to really abide by anything resembling a lifespan. Things just change, nothing really has aged. And he says, but if you wish to have an audience with Her Majesty, I'm certain we could acquire one. There might be a line, but we'll skip to the front. Wink.
It'd be good to see Mom again.
Oh, it would. I'm sure it would do her well to see it as well. To see you. I haven't had my coffee, so I'm a little jumbled. I apologize, my dear. All the honey
right.
meat, all the dire meat going straight to my brain.
It's no problem. The rest of the champions are downstairs too.
Oh, are they? Well, it is a veritable reunion, is it not? Oh, that's probably bad, isn't it? That's probably a bad thing that everyone's here. Was there a memo I missed? Was there something? Was there a storming? There was a what's going on? Nope, don't tell me. Nope, don't tell me. If I haven't been told by Her Majesty, I shouldn't know. That is certainly not my purview. That is your business. You are your own person now. You're not my squire. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much time passes. Like you said, I'm always going to be your squire.
You know how to cut to the quick of me. Fucking elephant. God damn it. Iverick, Father, it's perhaps would you and Basil like to speak some more, or should I have her see Her Majesty as soon as possible? We can come back. Dire pudding. And Sir Tuscandale looks to you, Beza, and is just like, it's probably for the best. I need a moment compose myself. It's unbecoming of a knight of the hunt.
But it's appropriate for a dad.
You need to leave.
Is he still kneeling?
His trunk reaches over for like a curtain in the window, just like.
If he's still kneeling down, she'll give him a hug and a quick kiss on the cheek before she follows Iverick.
Oh, thank you. Now, how am I gonna stand up? As you leave. Take another decade for him to get back up. And Iverick takes you back downstairs where the rest of you are all sipping on some very hearty mead. And it's strong as shit. And so Linby has since gotten very chatty. Since it's like, oh, you guys are all right. And is there anything that you would have asked Linby while you guys were like carousing for a few moments?
Lindy or
Linby. Linbey. Sorry, I forgot to share an image. Anything you would have asked her?
I know Harlan would have
Like
inquired as to like the general like lay of the land, like how the people are generally feeling. You know, if what's the mood like around the Queensdom, basically. That would be top of mind.
Well, what do you mean? What sort of things are you wanting to know about? I mean, that's a big question. It's like, how's the world? That's a big question.
I mean, you know, there's. I used to wander around these parts and other parts and most of the parts, and it's been a
Elaine's
while
just
since,
like.
it's been a while since I've done so. Angela, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done so. So I'm just curious how the how the people generally feel. It's the you walk into a city and does it feel happy? Does it feel like it's just a malaise?
Sorry.
Are they tired? Yeah,
A little bit. Sorry, I have been on shift all day, and yesterday, and the day before. I could be a little punch drunk right now, in top of the regular drunk. So, well, okay. So you've got yourself. Okay, so what's going on right now? Let me think. In our realm. We've mostly just been keeping the fort going. Not too much happening here. I mean, unless you count the underground.
What's happening in the underground?
Well, there's a just a little bit of a, uprising. But it's fine. It's fine.
I'm not following. Isn't it underground?
Right. From underground, it rises. Uprising.
Oh, so
That's
it's not underground.
Not anymore. Kind of. Sort of. They're just going, like, they're both, like, maybe it's a Furbolg thing, you think?
Or it's just Harlan just doesn't quite get there. My boy is a little slow.
I'm gonna wait until it gets painful and then finally be like, would you mind let's skip this part. We don't need just tell us what happened.
The Hive of Displeasure has begun making some noise. They are
Like moans?
I hesitate calling them a cult, but it's a cult of personality. They cause they're having a bit of I don't know, they're throwing their weight around a little bit.
Like an incredibly good time. Can you help us understand what the problem is?
Oh, they've decided that this area is now theirs, and have basically begun mercilessly taunting us until we give up territory.
Interesting.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like she wants to talk about it. She looks a little ashamed.
Well,
It's we're gonna figure it out. It's fine. They will they'll run out of insults eventually.
they teasing you?
You say it like that they're not. No.
Okay.
You haven't heard them. They're not teasing. They're surgical.
I don't even.
It's
Oh my god, it's the remnants of Oliet's Mean Girl Club.
And Oliet's head's like, I fucking wrote the book. Just give me one example. Give me one example.
well, Erlmeyer, he tried to stand up to them, and they asked him if his mom had to make his clothes for him because of his unshapely silhouette. But they said it meaner and somehow funny. It was weird. They called it reading.
I might have to deal with that.
It sounds like you teach them a lesson or two.
Sounds like I already have.
You taught them how to read.
Well, you taught me how to read.
Nope, this is different. It's
It's
Okay,
reading,
well-
reading with a capital R, Harland.
okay. Well, you'll be all right. Just don't you have like weapons and stuff?
That seems like overkill.
I mean, you say that, but then they're running the show all of a sudden, and then what are you gonna do? They'll be stepping on you, and you'll be saying thank you, and then you'll wish you had listened to me.
Or you'll just keep thanking them.
So we're not here to talk about having a good time. We're trying to help. So I don't have the energy to train.
All
So
right.
maybe we'll have a peek. We'll go see what's happening over there. Maybe we can help Basis.
Queen's champions
Cool.
are going to address this.
I don't see why not.
That's
Well,
actually makes
with
me
that-
feel a little better. Like it's important enough that you'll address it. Yeah.
Make sure that they're doing it right.
Villain just is drinking, just bitches get stitches.
Okay, well.
I have been wanting to try out that eyebrow thing that you taught me.
That is not something you just unleash on someone without warning, Harlan. That's a heavy.
Well,
that's a heavy
if
hitter. That's a
they-
big guns right
if-
there.
If they deserve it, then they're gonna get it. Is what's gonna happen.
Speaking
Believe-
of,
what was that?
well, speaking of, Harland, what do you think's become of your associations, your fan clubs, for lack of a better word? Is this going to be like a one eye open at night situation, or do you think, is this a generational institution?
Is he a
Is there some
church
kind
now?
of weird shrine?
Oh my god.
Well, there's one of three scenarios that it could be. I could go into detail on each one because I had
Please do.
made I had made contingency plans
Oh my
in
god.
case
How many of them involve you faking your own death?
Cultish.
more than I want to admit.
Okay.
At least 14.
Before Harlan gets into his whole story about the about his contingencies, Villain says with a bit of an eye roll that makes you feel like they're not entirely sold on this whole redemption thing yet. That like, well, you know, we could just try to talk to him and lower tension and try to make nice.
Don't talk that way. That's not. There's no nice. The nicest thing we can do is put them in the ground.
Okay, I tried.
I
I
mean,
did my due diligence.
if we aggressively shame them into changing their tune, then wouldn't they have stopped the behavior that was causing trouble to begin with?
This is a dark
So
and
happy.
slippery path we walk.
Happy. Okay, well,
Paru! So, Harland, you were saying, do you have what are the three scenarios?
So three scenarios is that we're gone so long that they have forgotten me. In which case, it doesn't require any effort from me.
That
I
seems like
just
the
pick up
best
right
case
where I left
scenario.
off. That would be the best case
Pick
scenario.
up where you left off. No, where you left off was two warring fangirl groups.
Yeah. Well, they were.
You gonna pick
As
back
I-
up where you started? You're gonna try to like rebuild them? What are you gonna do, bud?
I don't think that'd be necessary.
Oh, they're just gonna gravitate towards you again. Just your animal magnetism.
You know, I did not establish these groups. I just kind of gave them guidelines for how they would behave, because they were getting out of control before I put my foot down and
they
asserted
thanked you?
myself. Well, half of them
Valain
did.
and Oliet are just like completely on the same wavelength right now. You guys just like clink glasses. Okay, so they forget about you. That's one option. What are the other options?
They start a cult or some sort of religion
Okay.
that I have become their some sort of paragon or patron of said cult and or religion.
Okay.
Or they all want to kill me. That was the third one. That
You
you know, in
Harlan.
case they
Well, hopefully
I
they
don't like-
won't look into history of powerful
I
men
just-
in this kingdom.
I don't like talking about it because it's, you know, it makes me feel like I'm too I'm self-important, you know.
Too big for your britches.
Yeah, that
I
they
mean,
would,
that's at
that
least
they
what they
would,
say.
so that they would so grievously hold against me the fact that I was absent for so long that they would.
I'm
harbor
sure
in their
they
hearts
want
a
you to.
deep-seated
I'm sure
hatred.
they want to hold all sorts of things against you, Harland.
Well, that sounds more like option 3, and I don't like that.
Oliet, if even if you're not paying attention, Valain's still like himself like with the clink.
Listen, we'll figure it out. Whatever happens, happens. Hopefully, best case scenario is they all fucked off and died. But whatever, it's fine. It's totally fine. If we are gonna just have a massive bitch war on our hands, we'll deal with it.
Oh God,
not
from
worried.
from two different directions. Dear Lord, I don't
I
The
think.
just-
crafty thing would be to turn them on each other and let them do all the work.
No wonder this world is crumbling.
I had
not
that
crumbling,
same
but-
thought. that if we take the undergrounders that are
The hive of displeasure.
the hive of displeasure, if we take the hive of
Name,
displeasure
I'm,
and turn them against the
almost proud.
harlots,
What's
And
your
that-
problem, Juliet?
Said it's such a good name. If they're who I think they are, I am almost proud. Yeah. Well, do you think we could unite the harlots and the harlequins in a rallying cause?
There was
for
a
their
third
paragon?
one. What was the third
Yeah,
one that we
well-
made up? The Harlequins, the Harlots, and the something else. There was a third
Harbingers.
one. The Harbingers. The Harlbingers.
Harbingers, yeah. So,
Team.
not what it sounds like.
Kind of. If they're still a groupie group, it's still.
So what we have to do is we have to find out if the harlots and the harlequins and the third ones that I don't like to talk about still exist, and if they do, what their opinion of me is, because then that will determine how we handle this. Because if they hate me, then we can try to convince them that the hive of displeasure is behind me, in which case they draw the ire of the harlots and the harlequins, and then it's how
Slow down. Nope, don't.
then it's got the
Yeah.
I think you need to add
Take a-
some
take a breath.
WD-40 to those wheels, those gears. They're getting a little jammed up.
I think you're onto something.
I can see it. I
am?
can see the math.
We're almost there. We will figure this out. I think that this is a sound place to start, because if there's anything that a bitch loves, it's influence. So we just have to get them to take each other out. I don't think it'll be that hard.
if Mona Shell's still alive. then
Use
she'd
your
be the one
training.
to talk.
Who's taking who out?
Oh, hey Beza.
Harlan's taking
we
out all of his groupies.
might have a massive mean girl war on our hands.
Or a big, big group date.
Listen, either way, I'm very
Either way,
into
it's
this.
a party.
Either way, we're gonna have a good time.
Well, that's one way to rebuild an empire.
Uncle Charlie talked about one of those parties one time. He said he couldn't scrub his eyes fast enough.
I think that was probably a very different crowd, and I get it.
Kind of respect Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie hasn't made
Mitch.
the shade.
I thought you were gonna say Uncle Charlie can get it.
No. No.
Anyway.
Let's slow down on that. No. Okay, so
Also-
Beza, how was seeing your dad?
It was good.
He's still crying upstairs,
Like,
openly
Well-
weeping.
yeah.
It's fine. He does
He's-
it sometime. He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it very often. But Beza is usually the cause.
Yeah, he's feeling a little emotional. But he said that we should probably go see the Queen of the Hunt, so we can get in contact with the queens. Did you reach out to the Queen of the Wood with the book at all? Or wait, no, we don't have the book.
Doesn't exist
Presumably
here.
was the one that let us in, but so she must know we're here. I don't have a way. Usually it's like incoming signal kind of a thing. The concussion. So I cannot force it, but I assume she knows we're here. Well, we'll see the Queen of the Hunt first, since we're here.
Yep. My brother's gonna take us.
Yes. Haha. That's my Loxodon impression is just haha. Iverick starts leading you all down the stairs of the tower, down the spiral, towards a very familiar entryway at the base of the stairs. It is a big stone doorway with a large wooden door. And the door is covered in etched runes. in giant, basically. Basically, you recognize these are just protection runes, warding runes, teleportation runes. These all do the things you would think this door was supposed to do. Her Majesty of the Hunt does not have the innate Fey magic that the others do. Her magic is derived almost exclusively from her mastery of these rune symbols. Which is, benefits you because it's something she could teach. And Iverick reaches out with his hand and draws with his fingers a rune that you don't see at first until he finishes. When he finishes the shape and sort of, dots his I's and crosses his T's, this shape, this almost spiral image forms on the door, and it begins actually shifting almost like a galaxy with arms and this momentum. And as it spins, you watch as sounds start to click like locks undoing on the inside of the door. And eventually, as the last sort of sounds, the door like swings open, and Iverick beckons you all to follow him. And as you step through what looked like darkness, you feel that you pass through a portal, almost like a ripple, which is not normally what you feel when you go through these. A lot of times these doorways felt effortless. Like you just walk into a new space, and it is what it is. But this felt like you were moved somewhere. Like it felt like there was more overt effort made to do the magic here. This portal magic. But as you step into the doorway, you feel the air sort of ripple around you, and you are in a circular room. It is interesting. It is a space that has all the accoutrement of the Hunt Lodge. It's got the antlers and the mounted creatures everywhere. A few notable additions: massive dragon head, something that almost looks like a zombie mammoth. There's all sorts of stuff on the walls now, but there's also a bunch of vining growing. Well, no, not vining, sorry. My bad. Para's not here. That doesn't make sense. There are, there's noise coming from what you would normally associate, with like Her Majesty of the Word's private room, like there being a side room. You hear a bunch of carousing. You hear drinking and clinking of glasses and music and all sorts of Harland, very familiar noises for you. In the room next door, there is only Her Majesty of the Hunt's throne here. You don't see the others. The room almost feels a little smaller. The most unnerving part of all of this is when you look up, you see a ceiling. Flat wood. And like wood beams and stone. This is not the connected Fey Queen throne room you remember. It's not unending or, mythically connected to things. It's just a room big, very impressive, very imposing, but almost mundane compared to what you're used to. All the while,
Something
there's
feels
still a
off.
ton of noise coming from the other room. Sounds like a tavern.
Well, we'll go to Signs of Life, I guess. See what's to be found.
Hi, we've got a new
Aw, thank you for the subscription. Delightful.
So, Beza, I didn't spend a ton of time here. Is this normal? Seems kind of like, I don't know, like the vibes in here are kind of dead. Is this how it usually is?
I mean, it's definitely not the normal from when I was here last, but it sounds like it's been a really long time since we've been here, so I do know that my dad was telling me apparently the queens have had some disagreements over certain things. Nothing that he thinks is going to permanently cause a rift forever, but definitely some things that have made them take sides. So it's possible that that's why this room's not connected with all the other queens anymore.
That's probably. He didn't by chance give you like a Teams breakdown, did he?
No.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out the hard way, I guess.
And as you say that, Harlan starts walking through the doorway, and you all follow him into this raucous tavern. Huge space. Looks like a fucking Valhalla kind of deal. Big tables and fireplaces and drinking, and you see at the head of one of the tables a very boisterous yuan tea woman, serpentine, with a kind of tavern wench vibe to her, bright blue snake eyes, and her hair is a little bigger than the last time you saw it. It's a bit redder, and she's, you know, the neckline might be a little lower than it was before, if that's possible.
Bitch, yes.
And she is clearly in her cups a little bit, and is clinking glasses with a couple of very energetic fae folk. You see a couple minotaur. You see a few of the hunters mixed in here, and you hear her shout out, "We're almost low, love. Come on, what you up to back there?" And you, Beza, you've never seen your mom drunk. And you see behind the bar a giantess pulling bottles to come back from the bar, and she's like, "Found it! I found it! The day is saved." And everyone's clapping and like, "Ah!" And she's bringing over this big bottle, and starts just pouring as she's heading back down the bar, or heading back down the tables towards where Her Majesty of the Folk is sitting. And she pulls a big seat up, and they're just fucking chilling.
Well, I guess these two are at least on one side.
Yeah. Yeah. I
What's
almost
wrong?
want. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've seen her drunk. She can hold her cups.
I've never seen my mom drunk.
I think I want to get closer without them realizing that it's me. So, I'm gonna go play pretend for a minute, if that's all right with you.
Oh, this is too good. Can I play?
Yes.
I haven't got to do anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you
yes.
gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's talk. We have the game plan. Game plan. Backstory. Come on. Hit me.
So Harlan casts disguise self on himself.
Okay.
And looks just a tiny bit smaller. The bright blue tinge of his skin turns a little bit more muted gray. His ears kind of grow larger and round, and his nose like extends a little bit into like, it's like a snout, but it's got like whiskers coming out of it and teeth, and it's like, well, I've never disguised myself as a tabaxi before, but I think that I've been around the twins long enough that I can pick something up.
For 2 seconds, I thought you were a loxodon with whiskers. I was like, does Harlan not remember what an elephant looks like?
Oh no, he looks like a mouse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's fun.
that's cool.
Well,
Okay,
You're telling me he's a country mouse?
It's
Oh my God.
it's because of the object that he has.
Yes, he
now.
does. He has an
Yeah,
object
so
now. I forgot.
yeah,
we
but
didn't really write it into the story, but he has it.
Didn't really quite take that into consideration when he cast this spell, but now he's a giant walking bluish gray mouse.
Okay,
I can work with this.
into it.
I can work with this. And Verlaine looks at it and looks at Harlan kind of, Are you still wearing, like, farmy clothes?
I think he would have. So, if anything, he was intending to, because Her Majesty of the Hunt was going behind the bar. He was going to act like a bartender, and like kind of go back and like take over, because then he could be near the table and.
Oh, they're
not
like
arouse
way
suspicion.
down the way. This is, like I said, imagine like Valhalla or like the end of Skyrim, like that big, like there's the tables and it's this huge hall and like the bar is on the other side of the room.
Sovngarde.
Yes, Sovngarde. It's like that. It's like you're half a football field away from the table when you're at the bar.
Oh, okay. Then that would have okay. Then he's just gonna go behind the bar, grab a beer, and kind of saunter over. Kind of.
Wait for me.
Try to. Yep.
And
He
Verlaine
would have
is
explained his plan.
sure, and Verlaine is going to also turn into a mouse, with a little notch in the ear that is missing the eye, and he's got more of a like. He's got more of a Rat Pack vibe to him. I didn't even think of it when I said it.
Good job.
You're welcome.
Johnny Thunder.
Yeah, basically, like, and he's just like, as he walks down the table, he's just like, "Hi, y'all, how's it going?" He's doing like a weird, really terrible Harlan impression. He looks like he's having a lot of fun. Of course, Oliet's like, "Ew, fun."
I'm just
Him,
like,
it doesn't
I
really
don't
work.
understand any of what just happened, but I am willing them all the success in the world. What are we gonna do? Well, is this like a standby situation? Do you want to just go talk to your mom?
I mean, kind of, but I've never actually interacted with her when she's drunk. That's a new one for me. Is she like this all the time now? She's asking Iverick.
I don't normally talk to Her Majesty, so I don't know. I usually hang out with the riffraff, the layabouts, as Father says. I'm not usually put in front of, And he like takes the helmet off his head, and he's just like, I don't really know how to act right now.
Well, when she's sober, I would say just, be respectful and, be yourself. I don't know what she's like when she's drunk. I've never actually seen it. She seems friendly.
And she's just like, you hear like a cackle of a laugh, like an unbridled, completely unrestrained laugh from Her Majesty of the Hunt. Which is weird.
Huh.
Be more forthcoming? I mean, Sir Tuscandale seemed to think that... I can't imagine he would have sent us here if he thought she would be, like, hostile or not receive us, right? So it'll probably be fine.
That's true. All right, well, I guess maybe we just make our way over there behind the guys so they can observe
Start
a little.
to just see what happens.
Maybe.
Or we could perhaps do some interception and prevent some kind of disaster.
That's partly my concern.
I am curious to see where this mouse bit goes, but okay, all right.
The
All right,
bit.
I'm behind you. I got you.
Cut to the mouse, the Mises. Harland, Verlaine has an arm slouched over your shoulder, but it's really your waist because you can't actually change your height that dramatically, and he's shorter than you. And then he realizes that, and he's just like, "Oh, sorry," and he kind of fist bumps your shoulder, hip, and keeps walking. You're not actually that taller than him, but he's just like, "Okay, so what's the play here?"
Just kind of slip into the conversation and see where it goes, see what the occasion might be, and I don't know, just kind of get the lay of the land, as it were.
Okay, sounds good. I can do that.
I have no idea what I'm doing. This is like one of the first times I've done espionage.
I'm really proud of you, man. I'm like, this is initiative. This is completely idiotic. I'm a big fan. All right.
Yeah.
And so you two head forward and saddle up to the table where the two queens are, and they're in the middle of a story that doesn't make any sense for you. You have no context for what's happening. But Her Majesty of the Folk says, so there, I don't remember at all what her accent was. I think it's Cockney. Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, it's like this. Anyway, so they're sitting there, right, in the room, sunlight just turning everybody into bees, and we're sitting there thinking, well, if we had just talked to him in the first place, we wouldn't have even had to have had this damn gladiatorship. It would have been fine. And the huntress is just, she's just like waiting for the punchline, but she like knows the punchline, and they continue. You have no idea what this story is about, and at the end she's like, and then the fucking floor explodes, and there's just butter, and they just all fucking die, and you must have missed something in the translation at the beginning of this story. And Verlaine's like, ha 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 ha, that's real funny, right?
They must have found that margarine.
And Her Majesty of the Hunt is like, this one, Disha. And Her Majesty of the Folk looks at Her Majesty of the Hunt and is like, you are well, and if she was here, she'd say you were several chapters short of a novel right now. And they're just disintegrating into boos and laughter. If who was here, Your Majesty? What'd you say, Harlan?
Yeah, what he said. Sorry, you couldn't hear me over the laughter.
Huh, yeah. Who? She who must not be named. Oh. Right, of course, yeah. I've forgotten my accent too. What's your accent, Harlan? Right, totally, yeah, same, yeah, sorry. I didn't name her, so I still stuck to the rule. And, she's like, that you did. Watch it. So, who are you? I don't remember you. You're not.
Harry. Cold Leaf.
Cold Leaf or Colt Leaf?
Cold Leaf. Like it
Leaf.
was winter when I was born, and my parents were not very inventive.
Who's your friend here?
This.
Daniel Ice Wine. It was also cold when I was born.
I think Harlan's just like.
I'm rusty. Sorry. Give me a persuasion check, or give me a deception check, Harlan.
Deception. Oh boy.
Yeah, you made up a name and you're pretending to be someone you're not. What do you think it's gonna be? Intimidation. 16 total?
Because I'm technically half proficient with it.
Hey. Well, I will say it's really good that Valine is a charisma class now. He rolled a 17. Unfortunately, you are talking to a Queen of Fae. And her passive's way over that. Where does it get cold in my kingdom? In my queendom?
Oh.
I'll have to correct that.
South.
South of what, dear?
Where it's warm.
Oh my god.
South of where it's warm? This feels like a riddle.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. I tried. I gave it the old university try.
Valine fades back into himself and goes, we gave it the old try. Sorry. Just seemed like a fun atmosphere. Maybe we should join in.
Yep, that is what we thought. Not that we were trying to spy on all y'all. Harlan Firebrand, check your service. And then let's the disguise drop.
Why in the fuck are you introducing yourself, darling?
I don't know. There's some faces here that I don't know, and some behavior that I don't
Oh my
recognize.
god, no! Come here, you beautiful bastard! Come here! And
So
she
he gets up and kind of sheepishly hangs his shoulders and just kind of walks over to be hugged.
where she was normally the size of Her Majesty of the Hunt, she shrank immediately to throw her arms over your neck and is like, oh, my beautiful boy, you look the same. I was trying to give you a compliment and I don't have much to say. Well, you do have a little bit of something else about you. What is that?
Yeah.
It's a little,
Well, I won't say that. Well, how much should I go into this?
Oh, that's entirely up to your prerogative, man. I mean, Do you just like go home to your parents and be like, hey,
Well, I tried hiding stuff from my parents, and they always found me out.
don't call me your parent. Ugh.
No, he asked going home, and no, I'm sorry, Baba Dishay. I didn't. I didn't
Oh,
mean
do not. No, Baba. Ugh. No. And she like sort of like shoves it at your face. Like, gross. I'm nobody's Baba.
Oh, sorry. I spent just a little bit of time. Just got in.
I'm fucking with you. You're fine. Don't, but you're fine. And she gets her hand like right on your chin, and she's just like checking your face. Yeah. Jaw's a little more chisel, maybe. There's something different. How are you and Oliette doing?
Well, you kind of tried to hit her in there, and then.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we're doing real good.
Good.
I think we doing good.
Oh, hello, darling. How are you?
I guess we've been announced. Beza, if you wanna.
It looks like it.
Come on, darlings, come on. There's room for everyone at the table.
I'm assuming we were like partway across the room and now it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we've been
You're just
singled out.
slowly walking the half a football field.
Fucking Green Mile up in here.
Yep.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna fall like a few paces behind Beza.
Mm-hmm. This music is insanely okay for the scene.
Yeah.
The tone of the scene. And Her Majesty of the Hunt looks around and is like, you mean, who's here? Darling, our champions are back. They're back. Where is she? Come here right now. I
I'm
will fall if I stand. You will come here. And after some movement, you end up at the chair. And she looks way down at you.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, you're still doing that. That's adorable. Hello. Have you spoken to Lord Tuscandale?
Yes.
He's a lord now, you know.
He didn't tell me that part, but I did see him already. And I met my brother.
Oh, Iverick, hello. We've never met. No, Your Majesty, we have not. No. At least for I've been in your presence before, but we have not met in such a circumstance. He's almost as stuffy as Tuscandale.
He's definitely my brother.
Well, how is it you find yourself... Well, I know how it is you find yourselves here. Why?
Because we were under the impression that there was going to be some sort of ruckus that we would need to be involved. Yeah, like a throwdown, a tussle.
Tussle, like... Do you think if Bombus gets into a fight, they call it a tussle, Dale? And Her Majesty of the folks like, oh yeah, it's real good. That's a good one.
They might call it a tussle.
She busts out even harder.
So how are the other majesties?
Oh, I'm sure they're fine. I haven't talked to them in a bit of a spell, but you know, everyone's got their own thing going right now. Just kind of, you know, well, we're just having a grand old time. So, you're more than welcome to come chill with us.
I mean, yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, what's the matter?
I'm just a little concerned. That's all.
Oh, don't be
It was-
concerned, dear. I'm perfectly fine. We're having a, well, like I said, we're having a grand old time. We're just, you know, enjoying the fruits of our labors. The fruits in the wine, dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're oh, I've missed you.
All y'all were a big family. You're all connected. Now you're not all connected anymore. And that's
Oh, that was a whole thing. Don't worry about it. It's just, you know, families go through rough patches. It's fine. Everything will work itself out. It always does, doesn't it? And Her Majesty the Hunt is like, right, everything will be fine.
so. All y'all are good with Her Majesty the Trade then?
Oh, don't get me talking about her. She's kiss ass.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she.
Who's that? Who's behind? Is she?
The lady of the trade decided that she was going to throw herself in with. I don't want to talk about her. She's been a pain in my ass, and I just don't want to deal with it. So don't worry about it.
We're talking about the displeasure people. That.
Displeasure people. Oh, those darlings. Yeah. Oh, they're wonderful. And Her Majesty the Hunt's like. And Folk looks up and goes, "Oh, sorry, so subject." I think they're wonderful.
I
That's not
don't
what I'm
mean
talking about, dear. And
I
she
don't
kind of
mean-
eyes Oliet a little bit. You're making the rounds then?
Yep, but seems like we might have to go a bit further from the other ones, given that looks like things aren't
Copacetic.
together anymore. Yeah.
Oh, you know, like I said, everything goes through phases. We'll be fine. Once
So,
some people come to their senses and stop being asses. Horses'
who would
asses,
you-
centaurs' asses, chimeras' asses, pick an ass.
I mean,
That was
Not to pull out
rhetorical.
company,
That was
but-
rhetorical.
oh,
She
right,
kind of also eyes Oliet a little bit like, we need to talk later.
who'd she throw in with? So we've been
Harland.
going a while. I'm just looking to be caught up on
Arlen, maybe we
things.
should just sit down and have a drink and just hang out. We should just chill out for a sec.
See, there's the spirit. Listen to your girlfriend, Harland. She's a smart one, clearly.
Come here.
I mean, yeah, I've known that for a while.
Let's just relax and hang out.
Exactly. Please come. There's drink for all, and there's plenty of fun to be had. If you want to hang out with the Hive of Displeasure, they are always down for a party.
Am I supposed to tell you now that we should have a drink and relax? Because you look like you're a bit agitated right now.
Oh, well, I'm sure she and, Oh, hello. You seem to be on your best behavior, love. And looking at Verlaine. Yes, ma'am. I try. Well, that's good. I'm glad. You, Oh. You two are obviously welcome. Old friends and all that. But, I'm sure you're gonna want to go check out your ladies. See how they're doing.
Are they together?
Yeah, with Mr. Law, yeah. We don't like talking about unpleasant business. Or not even business, just nonsense.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Why harsh and mellow?
Oh, she gets it. She gets it. And there's,
Methodically sit down. I'm really trying to like, we're having fun.
Verlaine
But
is
panic mode inside.
Verlaine is directly across from you when you sit down, and you both have a look on your face like,
Mesa also has this look on her face.
and the wine flows and the party picks back up again, and it's like nothing happened. And yet, for all of you, so much has happened. And we'll have to continue exploring that next week. All right, everybody.
What the ever living fuck?
What's when you love someone and also hate them so much, and you feel those things simultaneously?
I don't know, how'd you feel about Verlaine at the beginning of the campaign? I very much got that vibe. Maybe a third of the way through the campaign, that was definitely the vibe. So yeah. Oh, there we go. How many more ahs can we get in the chat before?
I am doing it inside
You're doing
my
it also? Okay.
Concern.
I have so many concerns, and there's internal screaming.
It's great. So seems that a lot has gone on in the last however long it's been since you've been in the book. And next week we will explore what else might be different, or maybe what the fuck's going on. Everybody, this has been a delightful session. I've missed you all, and I'm very much looking forward to next week. Hopefully we will be up a Paru and see what she's been up to with Baba Yaga and all the mushroom people she met and got distracted by this session, so she didn't participate. Anyway, everyone, it is wonderful as always to have you here with us telling our crazy ass story. I'm very pleased that we were able to fit in Acacia and Marzipan back into the story a little bit at the beginning. Hopefully we will see more NPCs joining. There might be one waiting in the wings. And we'll see you all here next week. I think we're gonna end tonight the way we began tonight, with our fun little intro, so that everybody can just enjoy that one more time. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care of yourselves, and above all, do us a favor and be good to each other.
Just not okay.
What is happening?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And here's the
You can
intro
play
video.
your intro. God damn it,
Bye.